Who is my pretty baby girl? Okay, today is Tuesday, Melbourne Cup Day. So I don't go back to work till tomorrow. Oh, I love you, my pretty girls. Miss you and love you so much. My beautiful Inara, my beautiful Adela. I'm reading Beatrix Potter's The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Now, there's a DVD. That's a Peter Rabbit behind there. But it also says here, it says to Dear Inara, this is the story of Peter Rabbit. It was well written in 1902. Over 100 years anyway, she goes through the whole lot. Beatrix wrote many short stories of Peter Rabbit and his family. Okay, this is 2018. Wow, Nara was very young back then. So anyway, Peter Rabbit. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to get through this really quick. This is Peter Rabbit. Okay, I think it looks like him. Radio, let me read this now. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in the sandbank under the root tree of a very big fir tree. Now, my dears, said the old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. Gregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put into a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I'm going out. Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the woods to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Well, currently they were buns. Anyway, sorry, that was funny. Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. Oh yeah, do you remember the days? Boy, I remember days picking blackberries. How many cuts I got off the blackberry bushes. I've got scars, I think, to this day from blackberry picking. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First he ate some lettuce and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. Well, I guess parsley stops you from being sick, I gather. But around the end of the cucumber frame, who should meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting young cabbages. But he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. Well, look at that. Here he's there. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other shoe among the potatoes. After losing him, he ran on all 4 legs, went faster so that he might have gotten away if he had not unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew to him in great excitement and begged him to try to free himself. Oh yes, his blue jacket. Mr. McGregor found a sieve which he intended to put on top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. Oh, he's going out with no clothes on. He's going to get his kill. Peter rushed into the tool shed and jumped up into the water can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide if he had not had so much water in it. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each one. Suddenly, Peter sneezed. Achoo! Mr. McGregor was afraid In no time, he tried to catch Peter, who jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. He went back to his work. Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had no idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp from sitting in the can. After a time, he began to wonder about going lippity, not very fast, and looking around. He found a door in the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. And an old mouse was running in and out over the stone steps, carrying peas and beans to her family in the woods. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently he came to a pond. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it was alive. Peter thought it best not to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. He went back toward the tool shed. But suddenly, quite close to him, he heard a noise of scratch, scratch, scratch. Peter scuttled underneath the bushes, but soon as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was turned away from Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Peter got down very quickly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could go along the straight walk behind some blackberry bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped under the gate and was safe at last in the woods. Outside the garden, Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes as a sparrow to frighten the blackbirds. Oh, there he is. He's getting chased. Yeah, like that. Peter never stopped running or looking behind him until he got home to the big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in 2 weeks. Oh no. Look at Peter, just tired and exhausted. That evening, Peter was not very well. His mother put him to bed and made him chamomile tea, which helped him. She gave him a dose of it to Peter, 1 of the tablespoons to take at bedtime, she said, but Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail had bread, milk and blueberries for supper. Oh, well, that was quite good of them. Oh, poor Peter Rabbit. That's the end. Oh, there we go. That was the end of Peter Rabbit's adventures. Beatrix Potter. There you go.